HerfordSports.com.
Sounds like Vegas.
What's going on, y'all? You're back. I'm your host, Paco, and you're listening to Occupy the Media. I want to thank you if you're tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. And let's see here, Henry. Man, Skype is just playing games with me. I tell you, boy, I get the reverb, and as soon as I'm about to say something, it cuts off. So we're good to go. Real quick, Henry, we got some little postings here in the chat room, and they're letting me know that Ben Swan's trying to get a hold of you. Do you know who Ben Swan is?
I just brought him up on Facebook, and I will communicate with him after we get through with our show.
Perfect. They put the email, but you probably can get it from there. If you need it, let me know.
I'm looking at him right now.
Perfect. That's great. We would definitely want to get you on the local news coverage, the mainstream media, anywhere we can, and get the word out, because we know when articles are written about these conventions, without interviewing, Ron Paul supporters that was there, we tend to get the bad side of the story, and it's unfortunate. Yes. Now, we got about maybe 20 to 30 more listeners that actually jump in since the commercial break, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot that didn't even hear your story. We might have to get back to it maybe in the next segment. But you said that you don't want to take any legal action. Is that correct? I think we were talking about that right before the break.
No, I do want to take legal action, but I'm not going to do anything real hasty.
Okay.
I'm consulting my attorneys. I will take legal action. I plan to have the police that were involved in it arrested for assault on an elected official, which is a felony in the state of Louisiana, and whatever other charges I can charge them with. I feel that my civil rights were violated. They, did not let me participate in the convention that I was duly elected chairman in. And, if there was any conspiracy, we need to look into possibly the RICO Act. Let's look at some of the people on the state Republican Party or the National Republican Party and what kind of collusion did they have to come up with this idea to quote, take me out.
Well, somebody posted here in the chat, they were asking who authorized the police to arrest you.
That's a good question, and who authorized them? Well, it had to come from the head, Roger Villery.
Yeah.
And
you said you just saw them. I'm sorry?
Roger is the chairman of the Republican Party of the state of Louisiana, which he will have to go. I am on the state central committee, and when we meet again, that's going to be one of the first things I push, the removal of Roger Vedder and the whole executive staff and the hired staff of the state Republican Party. Everyone needs to go.
Oh, yes. When something like that happens, I mean, that's just an embarrassment to the GOP. They should be ashamed of themselves to let something like that happen.
I've been a Republican since 1980, a proud Republican. I'm going to continue being a Republican, but we've got to get these. Basically, what they did to me was criminal. We've got to get these criminals out of control of our party. And I mean, if there's any doubt in anybody's mind, let them go to YouTube and watch the videos. They can see that I did not resist. They can see that I was just attacked.
Yes,
so,
and we might have to
the
get a link up here.
videos will stand. The videos will stand by themselves. They're even putting out word now that the videos are edited. I mean, you can go look at them and see that. Very amateur put together videos, just run right off people's cameras. You can tell they're not edited.
Well, let me ask you this. For those that are unaware, how did what were the results of the convention?
The convention was Ron Paul had 2/3 of the vote. The Ron Paul people put in the delegates that we were entitled to by I'm going to have to use the word, the very weird makeup of the way everything was supposed to be done. We had a party primary. Ron Paul did not get as many votes in the primary, but the primary did not allocate many delegates. it was more of a straw poll. It just allocated a few delegates. Where the most of the delegates came from was our caucuses. And Ron Paul swept 4 of our congressional districts. We have 6 districts in Louisiana, and he took 4 of them and did not take 2 of them. So, we came out of there with the majority vote. And, it was just pretty well cut and dry when we got to the convention. We had 2/3 of the vote going into the convention. And, so they came up with rules at the last minute that was just unbelievable. For example, what I told earlier about the quorum would be 1/3. We could not change anything. Everything was going to be dictated by the chairman. The chairman could not be removed. Just a little of everything. No. And then the chairman did not participate properly and did not follow Robert's Rules of Order.
Okay, Henry, we got some people who are asking about Alex. Did you want to speak about what happened to Alex at the convention?
Alex, I was across the room from Alex. I was actually in the back waiting during the convention, and I saw Alex at the front. Alex was an elected chairman of a committee, and he got up to give a report, and they would not recognize him. He rose to point of order, and they would not do anything. And the next thing I knew, I looked up, and they were dragging Alex out. And I'm literally dragging him out of the convention hall. There were Shreveport police, but I saw one Louisiana State trooper with him. A sergeant. But I do not know his name, but I saw the 3 stripes on his arm. And so he was a sergeant with the Louisiana State Police.
Do we know if he was
they
injured?
Drug him, yeah, I do know he was injured. They injured 2 of his fingers. They pulled him out of the hall, according to him, laid him on the floor, and started pulling and twisting his fingers, one on each side of him. And they were screaming at him, "Stop resisting." And he was screaming back at them, "I'm not resisting. Y'all are pulling me from both sides." But they injured his fingers and kind of hurt his leg a little bit, and really intimidated him, shook him up, and told him that he had to leave or he would be arrested and go to jail. And it shook him up pretty bad, and he went back to his hotel and did not come back.
So is this Louisiana or Guantanamo? Because it sounds like you're giving me like a horror film. This is crazy. I can't believe they're taking it to this extent. It is
unbelievable that this is Louisiana, and he is a elected delegate. Elected delegates, and be treated like this in Shreveport, Louisiana. Like you said, it sounds like a third world nation.
It does, and it's sad.
And they get you down on the ground and then they torture you. And people see this. You can see them dragging him out, but they got him out in the hallway where nobody could see, and then that's when they damaged his fingers. I saw him yesterday morning. He was still quite shook up about it, and I told him, I said, let's get together with the attorneys, and they could work together on this. And he's told me, let me get back with you. I just really don't know what I want to do.
Okay, let's come back to that. We're about to head to a break, Henry, so we'll be right back. I'm your host, Paco. You're listening to Occupy the Media. Stay tuned.
Here's what's happening. Scott Horton of Anti-War.
Ron Paul's run is just making the American people so much more guilty. You had 2 chances, 2 giant, silver, golden platter chances. Peace, bring the troops home, close the bases around the world, bring them home, put the Navy on our shores, point it out, and then just leave them there. We can reinstate our Bill of Rights.
RoarAllVideo.com.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every day. Medical marijuana is my last resort, and it helps me when all other drugs have failed. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Dr. Ron Paul, More than 4,000 babies delivered. A man of faith.